Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days and 5 minutes coming up tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, which has been off for the last 5 days as I was at my daughter's wedding. We'll be talking about another warm up in the east and maybe some more record highs, especially on Wednesday. There's severe weather tonight that's going on in the nation's midsection, and we will have a new tropical storm on the map, Rafael. So that's all tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, and that is at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. So we're going to start off with Tropical Depression 18 as it is in the Caribbean, drifting northward. It has become much better organized today. We're seeing convection wrapping around the circulation center. A little bit of core there starting to develop too. So this is as of 2:45 p.m. Eastern Time. This is going to be upgraded to a tropical storm probably at 5 o'clock. At 1 p.m. on the advisory, it was at 15.1 north, 76.4 west, moving north at 9. And the Hurricane Center is noting that we have tropical storm warnings up for Jamaica, hurricane warnings up for the Cayman Islands, and we have hurricane watches up for Western Cuba, tropical storm watches up for Central Cuba. And you can see the forecast track here. It is forecast to become a hurricane by Tuesday night or early Wednesday morning. And then from there, it goes into the Gulf of Mexico, where upper air conditions are not all that favorable for strengthening. And in fact, they may actually induce some weakening. We have strong upper level westerlies. Also, the overall environment is kind of dry. We've had these dry air masses covering the eastern United States that have pushed down into the Gulf of Mexico over the last couple of weeks. So, tropical storms love moist environments, and there isn't much of one now in the Gulf of Mexico. Meanwhile, we've been sort of on the edge of clouds here in the Northeast. There's a warm front to our north, and some rain and showers have been moving across parts of upstate New York and northern New England. But it has broken out to a fair amount of sunshine from Connecticut and Long Island southward. And we have sunny to partly sunny skies extending down into South Carolina. There's clouds sitting over the state of Georgia. Then you can see the lightning flashes going on in East Texas, as well as across north central Texas into Oklahoma and on up into Missouri. We're seeing thunderstorms and severe weather there as we check out the radar here. Again, this will be as of 2:45 p.m. Eastern Time, roughly. There's the rain shower activity is mostly along and north of I-90 in upstate New York and kind of skimming northern New England. That's going to obviously not have an impact for weather conditions to areas to the south. The radars in the east are mostly dry, a little bit of patchy light rain in central Georgia. And then you have this mess that's been going on for a couple of days now, and we're seeing severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings in the yellow and red boxes that are coming up in and around the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Also, between Oklahoma City and Tulsa, we're seeing the same thing. So very busy, and even a few flash flood, actually a lot of flash flood warnings that have been posted up in parts of Missouri, south of St. Louis, and going southwest from there. The Storm Prediction Center has enhanced risk north and northeast Texas, across Oklahoma, western Arkansas into Missouri. There's a 5 to 10% tornado risk. There's actually an area of 10%. That hatched area indicates that there's risk for EF2 to EF5 tornadoes in that zone in eastern Oklahoma, northeast Texas, western Arkansas, and southwestern Missouri. So I'm sure the folks there are going to be on the watch for that. And as we move on to tomorrow, the risk areas diminish. Two small areas of marginal risk, one in Wisconsin, the other one in southeastern Arkansas, down through western Louisiana and East Texas. And on day 3, it pushes along general thunderstorm risk across the Gulf states, a marginal risk for the Keys in Florida, and that's partly due to the new tropical storm Rafael. Now, rainfall amounts over the next 7 days, at least it's not white. We're looking at a tenth to a quarter of an inch from WPC between now and next Tuesday. If this weren't such a dry pattern, I'd be tempted to talk up the rainfall a little bit that we may see here later Sunday, Sunday night, and Monday. A lot of it's going to depend on how much tropical moisture gets involved. So for now, the WPC folks are staying kind of conservative here with basically a tenth to a quarter of an inch from southern New England down into eastern Virginia and eastern North Carolina. You can see the additional big amounts over the next 7 days of up to several inches across the central and southern plains. And covering much of the middle Mississippi Valley into the western lakes. Also, in parts of the southeast, Georgia, down to the Florida Panhandle and along the Gulf Coast, the possibility that we could see up to several inches of rain in this area. So, looking ahead, as far as the guidance is concerned on the models with the GFS, this low that's developing in northeast Oklahoma heads on up northward to Minnesota by the time we get to tomorrow afternoon. So clearly here in the east, high pressure offshore and a southwest wind. We'll see temperatures warm up through the 70s in many locations in eastern PA to southern New England. And then Wednesday, with maybe more of a west to southwest wind, I think we could see temperatures upper 70s and low 80s with record highs. What will be Rafael crosses western Cuba. You can see that tropical moisture moves up into the southeast during the day on Wednesday into Wednesday night, mainly into Georgia and South Carolina. The hurricane or tropical storm or whatever it is at that point continues northward, and then a new low develops back in Texas and moves northward through the Central Plains and kind of picks up whatever's left of this tropical system and absorbs it. And as it swings eastward, finally the eastern ridge breaks down enough so that we have maybe a shot for rain here come Sunday and into Sunday night, early Monday. So a lot will depend on the strength of the low and how much tropical moisture gets involved. We will, of course, deal with all of this in a very detailed way tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. That's at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. So mark it down, turn your notifications on, and we'll see you later.